Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the 12th installment of Taped Up. I'm your host, T Mac, and I'm here again with Ryan and Eric. And it was almost the perfect weekend of football. The Browns get a
Mm,
easy clean dub,
mm.
and the Packers just squeak by in the worst team against in the NFL. But we'll jump into the Packers and Browns later. For starters, we're going to start with the Saints at the Rams on Thursday Night Football. Gentlemen, Kyron Williams is very
Gentlemen,
good.
Kyron Williams
Aaron
is
Williams is
very
very good.
good. I do want to
And
say
the
the Rams are looking pretty fucking scary.
I was just going to say the Rams are looking Super Bowl scary.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I would
name three players on that defense.
I can't.
Aaron Donald, Aaron
And
Donald, and Aaron Donald.
yeah, they're playing
That's about
lights
it.
out. That score is not as the Rams whooped the Saints. That
No,
score does not
I think
represent how the game went at all.
those 15 points the Saints got were just kind of like, oh, cool. Like, you guys
Yeah.
scored.
Yeah.
Good job. Woo. No,
Yeah.
I think the Rams are getting hot at the right time, and I think any NFC team, and it's looking like the Lions should be worried to play them.
Yeah. At at Ford Field,
I
Stafford
mean,
will throw for 500 yards.
we have some
500.
we have some phenomenal matchups potentially for the
And
playoffs this year.
Flacco and the Ravens.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
excited, very excited. But nonetheless, the Saints are terrible. Derek Carr is awful. I think this
Bad.
might be Derek Carr's last year in the NFL. Thoughts?
I don't know about
I
last
doubt
year.
it.
No, I don't think
As a
last
starter.
year.
I doubt that
No.
either.
You still doubt that?
Yeah.
He's still
I think the Saints will
top
keep him.
20. There's so many bums playing quarterback right now in the NFL.
Backups.
I mean,
Huh.
who's
He's
gonna
the worst of the
go?
best starter, I guess.
I don't know about that. He couldn't start on the Falcons right now. He couldn't start on the
I would take Desmond Ritter
Seahawks.
or with
Over
Derek
Derek
Carr.
Titans.
Carr.
Yeah, this year.
Desmond Ritter just got benched.
Titans are iffy, but maybe. But they're playing a
Yeah,
backup
see
too,
how Will
technically,
Levis
if you
does.
want to get technical. Ryan Tannehill's starting this week, isn't he?
Yeah, Will Levis tore something. I think. I
Yeah.
don't know what happened actually. Anywho,
Speaking of teams with quarterback issues, we had the Steelers beating the Bengals. Jake Browning,
Jake Browning.
I mean, he still threw for 340 yards and a touchdown,
There's 3
but
picks.
it was late
his
though. I
picks
feel
were
like
abysmal. His picks were
yeah.
bad. Those were bad picks. Steelers defense looked really good.
When the Steelers scored on the second play of their opening drive or whatever, I knew like right off the rip they were gonna win.
I mean, this just proves my
Mason
point that we
Rudolph
talked
just
about.
gave
Yeah,
them some kind of spark.
this just proves my
I
point
mean,
that we
we'll
talked
see
about
what
2
happens
weeks
this
ago.
week. We'll
I
see
don't
what
think-
happens this week.
I don't
But
think Mason Rudolph's gonna do that again.
I still
Yeah.
think Mason Rudolph was the better option.
Oh, he is.
Trubisky,
I
He
think he's
is.
the best option,
period.
maybe even with
Well,
Kenny healthy.
I saw today at work during watching ESPN. I saw they announced that Pickett will be the starting moving forward. Still,
This
like
week?
even no, like
Oh,
moving forward for the team. They're not looking
yeah.
to make a quarterback change, so I
Yeah.
don't know. We'll see what happens. But the Steelers defense look really good. I think with this win, they jumped the Bengals in percentage to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Correct?
I
That
think
makes
they
sense,
had
yeah.
a 7% chance before the game. After they won, that they got like a 14.
Okay, interesting. I don't know. I mean, it's
It's
a
that
win-win
low.
Yeah.
yeah, because the AFC's so tight. You got
Yeah,
the
the AFC
Texans,
is
the Colts,
ridiculous.
yeah. I think for the Bengals, it doesn't matter. I think the Steelers need the playoffs more than the Bengals do.
I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
But
Just
nonetheless,
just based off how good the Steelers are, other than their quarterback, and how, I mean, they got good receivers, but other than Joe Burrow, you don't have a lot of expectation.
no, that's what I'm saying. And the Steelers have been 500 for so long and not making the playoffs. I feel like the Bengals were in the Super Bowl and the AFC Championship 3 out of the last 4 years. So I think it just makes more sense for the Steelers to want it more than the Bengals right now. But I don't really care. The Browns are better than both teams. Moving on to the Bills barely beating the LA Chargers. Gentlemen,
Classic trap game. It was looking scary there for first half, but I don't know what happened to Stephon Diggs, but he is not been, I think,
Um,
probably ever since whatever that dude's name is that took over play calling since they fired their OC. Ever since he came along, Stefan hasn't really been a focal piece, I'd say.
I think Stephon forgot trade deadline was like 7 weeks ago, and that him being a baby shouldn't be anymore. But
See what
do
he
I know?
showed up to at the game.
Oh my
In the
goodness!
skirt and a
Yes, the kilt,
like varsity jersey
the
Skirt?
kilt,
or varsity jacket.
It was a
Came-
kilt.
What?
A kilt and a varsity jacket, and then he had 5 catches for 29 yards.
I really thought Chargers were gonna pull it out. I mean, the
I
Bills.
was hoping they would, but
The Bills are still looking like the AFC version of the Rams, I'd say. But I think this game showed how vulnerable they can still be.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, not a big fan of this game. However, the very next game was a big surprise for me. The Falcons taking down the Colts handedly. Gentlemen,
Yeah.
what
I had
the
a
heck?
feeling. I had a feeling that was going to happen.
A
'cause-
20-point game, though?
I mean, I just had a feeling the Falcons were going to beat the Colts just because the Falcons were favored by 2.5. And in what world are they favored against the
Right.
Colts, who are like they were like 6-1 their last 7 games? So I feel like Vegas knew something was going to happen.
So it's rigged.
Yep, rigged. No, I don't know. I
Part
think
of the
Taylor
script.
Heineke. I think Falcons are definitely better with Taylor Heineke.
I agree.
Protected the ball. They ran the ball pretty good.
Decently, for sure. I don't know what the Colts' problem was. The Colts just didn't look like they were. The Colts looked like they didn't show up to play football that day, honestly.
Yeah, they are without what's his face, Pittman.
Yeah.
So I mean,
I don't know. A lot of
he does-
injuries plaguing
he
the
does
Colts,
get
and they're
like
still 8 and
7 or 8
7.
catches a game. So
I mean, is the Colts head coach going to win Coach of the Year?
no. Kevin Stefanski's.
I love that answer. It's a good answer. Except I
I
don't
just
want
wanted
it
to say how I feel like both of you hated Kevin Stefanski.
to. I still do.
Okay.
I still do, but when you go through 4 quarterbacks and have 26% of your cap space out, and you're 10-5, that's
I'd almost credit Jim Schwartz more
well
than
that too.
Stefanski.
Like-
I mean, Stefanski did bring him in, but I don't know.
We can
I
talk
like
more
Jim
about
Schwartz.
Stefanski when we get there. Let's move on to the Seattle Seahawks taking down the Tennessee Titans. Seahawks looking to make the push in as well. I think they're in right now. I think they're the last seed.
Yeah.
Behind the Rams and the Vikings? No, it's not the Vikings.
Rams and the Cowboys.
Cowboys, obviously. Yeah, that was stupid. The Titans, I don't know what their deal is. They were so good 2 years ago.
The Titans.
Yeah.
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 Nothing to really talk about here. Derek
I
Henry.
did say I predicted they'd win out and make the playoffs. They're
The Seahawks?
2-0. Yeah,
I
Yeah,
mean,
but
it's
I
not much
kind
of a
of
prediction.
I want them to. I need them to lose a game. For the
Imagine
Packers.
Imagine in a world where the Seahawks went out and then they upset the 49ers in the second round.
Imagine.
Imagine. Speaking of imagination, the Minnesota Vikings imagined they were going to beat the Lions this week, but they did not, losing 30-24. Nick Mullins, however,
You look pretty
although
good.
turning the
God
ball over,
damn.
he looked better at times than I think anybody other than Kirk Cousins has looked for the Vikings.
Dude threw for 411 yards.
Other
didn't run
than
the
turning the ball over,
Ew.
I mean, that's a big part of your job. I feel like. and
I
even
agree
la-
100%.
last
But when
week-
you're
last
you're
week he
young
threw
and a
3 or
busted
4
franchise right
interceptions,
now,
too.
you got to
I
put it
wouldn't
out
say
there
they're a
though.
busted franchise.
For the last couple games, I mean they're on their 4th or 5th quarterback as well. So go out there, gunsling, see what you can do. Although Nick Mullins had 411, like Eric said, Justin Jefferson had basically 150 of that in 6 catches.
Yeah.
So Justin Jefferson trying to prove that he's still the best receiver in the league.
Yep. And we just suspended our best corner, and we play Sunday.
That's a
Can't
funny
wait.
story, and we'll get to that after we get to the Jets beating the Commanders. What a poverty game this was. Trevor Simeon with his win, though.
My favorite bet of the weekend was Commanders +3, and it did smack.
Good for
I thought
you.
they were gonna win, but
Good.
Brees Hall
then
with
they were
2
down- they were
touchdowns.
down like 17-0.
And he had that one fucking breakaway run. That was fucking ridiculous.
Reese
Who,
Hall was
Brees?
literally their
Yeah.
entire offense.
Yeah. Do you guys ever see me tweet about why the Jets don't run the ball?
Nobody watched.
I don't get it.
Nobody cares
He'll-
being tweeted.
They've gone through all these quarterbacks this year, and Brees
That's
Hall will have
rude.
8 carries for 40 yards, and they'll lose by 3 or something. And then they give him the ball 20 times. He has 95 yards, 2 touchdowns, and then 12 receptions for another 96 yards. That's bonkers.
I mean,
It's
welcome to
bonkers.
the life of being a Browns fan. You know, I mean, this is what it is when it comes to running.
Jacoby Brissett is now the starter. He's going to start for
As he
49ers
should.
Our
game.
boy Sam Howell got benched, kicked to the curb.
I don't necessarily think it's at this late in the season. I don't think it's considered benching. I think it's just like we have nothing better to do. Let's just switch some things up, see what we can do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because
I mean, they're 4
in all seriousness, right? Jacoby Brissett could come out, win their last 2 games, and look really good, and that's going to forward him being the starter next year, right? So you just got to weigh your options at this point, because I think Sam Howell has a lot more trade value than Jacoby Brissett does. So you might think of that. You might trade Sam Howell for maybe somebody that's going to get a quarterback, and maybe they like Sam Howell. You know, just things like that. I don't know if it's considered benching this late in the season, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
Okay, Bill Belichick. Anyways,
Sorry.
continue.
Moving on to almost my favorite game of the week, the Packers barely, and I mean barely, beating the Carolina Panthers. Ryan, hire Joe Barry. He's still on the team.
2 weeks ago, who was it? Tommy DeVito, Tommy Cutlets, NFC Player of the Week
Against the Packers.
against Packers.
And now he's
Last
benched.
week, Baker Mayfield. Yeah, now he's benched. Last week, Baker Mayfield, NFC
Best
Player
performance
of
in
the Week.
Lambeau.
Yeah, other than Aaron Rodgers. That's the best performance anybody's ever had at Lambeau Field. And then this week, Bryce Young up for NFC Player of the Week. Did not get picked, probably just because they lost.
Probably only because they lost.
I don't know if you guys watched any of this game.
I did.
Probably not.
I bounced
You-
between.
Didn't it?
I have 2
I
monitors
was
for a
with-
reason.
I was with
Packers.
family.
Packers get a field goal to take the lead, 19 seconds. We kick the ball off. In 2 passes, they get to field goal range. Easy field goal range.
I was going to ask. It
And
seemed like
they
you
just
guys
didn't have any
weren't.
timeouts.
You guys didn't. Yeah. First off, pause. What was that spike that the Panthers tried to get off?
I don't
I feel like
thought he could
they
get it
were.
off with 1 second. I thought
I
he was
thought they
going
were-
to.
I just thought they were dicking around too much, getting to the line off that second pass. Like
I don't
they should have at least tied this game. I feel like
Yeah.
that was just bad play management by the players, not even the coaches. I do wonder. You know, I'm not like the smartest guy in the world, especially when it comes to defense in the NFL. But it was getting to a point where like you guys were in run defense and Bryce Young is throwing for 30 yards a pass. Was there
Yep.
any, I don't know, brain cell in Joe Barry's head to say, maybe we should
It's
go cover 2.
usually
Maybe we
it's
should.
usually whatever we go into the game with as our defensive game plan. That's going to be it until the game's over, regardless
Okay.
of what they're beating us with.
Okay.
It'll either be we're either stopping the run or stopping the pass. And
I
the
just
past
felt like I
4 or
saw
5
a lot of
weeks, it's
cover
been stopping the
one
run.
and blitzes from you guys, and Bryce Young was getting. First off, shout out to Bryce Young. He was slanging that thing against y'all, but it looked like you guys were in a rush prevent defense majority of the game. Even in that last 40 seconds, I felt like you guys were never even defending the pass. It looked like it, anyways. But
I don't
Joe
care.
Barry's still on the team. Ryan's still happy that he's on the team, and let's talk about something that's just way more important, please.
Jordan Love being a literal MVP candidate.
Let's talk about something way more important. Eric, the Cleveland Browns go into Houston. I know they have CJ Stroud. I know,
You beat Dougie Mills. Whoop they do and Case Keenum.
but that was a statement win. No,
It was. And I think it's finally gonna start. I think it's all season we haven't really had that what I want to say, like coverage on the
Ass
news
whipping?
like the people talking about us and like media. Like
Yeah.
it's just that we're the Browns.
I
Never
agree.
get talked about ever. And now I
agree.
finally think that this win is gonna set that bar even higher. And I don't know if you guys seen, but his name Rob Gronkowski or whatever the fuck his name is. Gronk.
Borkowski or who?
Gronk. Is his
Rob
name Rob?
Gronkowski?
Yeah, his name. Yeah. I forgot his first name. He was on a podcast and he said that he thinks that the Browns and the 49ers will make the Super Bowl. And guess what? Guess what? I said that 2 episodes ago.
I also have been saying that for a little while now.
No, you were saying Jags Lions. Don't change up.
The last 2
Lions.
episodes, I have
You
made
love
the comment.
picking
The
the Jags over your own team.
The last 2 episodes, I have made the comment the Browns will be seeing the 49ers in the Super Bowl. And this is the exact face Ryan has made.
What about Amari Cooper breaking that record? Several records.
Say, shout out to Amari Cooper.
Dude, he was.
We just were talking about this when we did the tier list that Amari Cooper, I felt like took a step back. And I don't know if it's his fault or the quarterback's fault. But I'll tell you what, it's definitely not Joe Flacco's fault, boy. I'll tell you that. So
he had 2 interceptions. One didn't really count because it was. I mean, I guess you say it counted. But it was like the last seconds of the first half.
Yeah.
Into the end zone. So
I do want to ask the question, and this is for both of you, obviously. Assume we make the playoffs. There's a 99% chance the Browns make the playoffs.
You're gonna make the fucking playoffs.
Anything can happen though, so I'm not gonna say they're going to. And let's say we make the AFC Championship. Do we need to have the conversation that Joe Flacco needs to be our starting quarterback next year?
Yes.
No, I don't think so.
I don't. Now hold on.
You could, but I don't think they would.
Talk about what I just said. I said, should we have the conversation? I don't think they will because they're paying Deshaun Watson so much. So let's assume they don't. Do we at least sign him?
Maybe
if we definitely need to sign him. We don't have a quarterback. DTR's out again.
Maybe if we go to the AFC champ.
So 1 playoff win's not enough, you're saying?
I don't think so.
That's our 2nd playoff win in
I know, but
my
you just
lifetime.
paid Deshaun Watson. You just can't really do. I mean, unless we get rid of him, we have to deal with that fucking money.
We have to deal with it anyways. He's not playing.
I know, but he might play next year. Might.
I don't live my life on mites. I'm just saying, like
I don't
think the
know, dude.
Okay,
we're in a bad situation.
For sure, though. Do we sign Joe Flacco no matter what next year, even if he's just a backup?
Sure.
I mean, DTR's on IR already with a bad hip. We already got rid of PJ Walker, and I don't want him back. And
I don't see why not.
Looking like he's going to take the commander spot.
I don't see why not because he said he likes it in Cleveland.
Nice, good for him. He's a good old country boy.
I doubt he stays. I think he'll get like a
someone might pay him.
Geno Smith, Baker Mayfield type deal. 2 years, 50
At 39? No,
maybe
he's not getting that. No, he's not.
A year?
I can guarantee you he's not.
Year or 2?
I guarantee you he's not making that kind of money.
Regardless.
Interesting.
This is the best Joe Flacco's ever played in his career. He's never looked this good.
Not nuts.
I think if he's doing it now, why couldn't he do it for the next year or 2?
Who is his number 1 receiver in Baltimore? Was it Anquan Boldin?
Steve Smith, probably.
Probably Steve Smith, yeah. It was probably Steve Smith, and then who was the other boy they had? Not Baldwin, when they won the Super Bowl. Once you say it, I know you're looking it up. Once you say it, I'll know.
Oh, he's doing that. Our second string defense fucking blows.
Our second string secondary?
Yeah, fuck me, man.
I saw something where Jair Alexander's about to be a Cleveland Brownie next year.
I heard so many. Like I've heard he's going to be.
Anquan Boldin.
I've heard he's going to be.
It was Anquan Boldin.
Yeah.
I've heard he's going to go to the Bengals, 49ers, Browns.
Well, the
Steelers.
49ers, the 49ers. Okay, like I was saying, I would say this is probably Joe Flacco's best receiver because I think Steve Smith was towards the end of his career, and Anquan Boldin, I don't think did much after the Super Bowl. So I would argue, to your point, this is the best he's looked is probably because of this receiving core. Because David Njoku's, I would argue, probably a top 5, top 4 tight end in the league right now as well.
Right now.
However, Denzel Ward has not got enough love this season, and I think we owe it to give him a little bit more love. He has played some terrific corner this year.
Quarterbacks don't want to throw to him.
That's me applauding him. Either way, Cleveland Browns are looking like they'll probably, I'm not going to say definitely, because anything's possible in Cleveland, are probably going to make the playoffs, and they'll probably make the Super Bowl. But I'm just saying. Let's move on.
Hang on. Joe Flacco is not only throwing to Amari Cooper. He's getting it to almost every receiver on the Browns, and I
Agreed.
love that.
The only thing I don't
Beautiful.
like about this Cleveland Browns team is we're still not running the football enough. But
We don't need to when
maybe
you
it'll
got
change
Joe
in the
Flacco
playoffs.
back there.
Maybe it'll change in the playoffs. Maybe we'll slow
First
down
play of
just
the
a little
game
bit.
launches the Amari Cooper.
That was hot. Amari caught a heck of a ball, by the way. Amari Cooper had a couple good catches.
All right, we can talk about this all
Moving
day.
on, please. I could talk about the Cleveland Browns literally all day. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers thrashing my original Super Bowl favorites, the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I think we need to start having a conversation about Trevor Lawrence. Don't you agree, Mr. Ryan?
Trevor Lawrence is hurt
Yeah,
with a shoulder injury. He didn't practice today,
he should have
so
played.
probably not going to play Sunday.
Well, Ryan, I saw your tweet. We can probably post it in the video if our editor can get that done. I don't know. But what is the conversation you want to start having about Trevor Lawrence?
He's not very good.
Elaborate.
We've hyped him up. We've hyped him up since high school about he was going to be the next greatest thing to ever touch a football field, and I don't like it.
Can I make the statement that he
Don't
has
bring him up.
technically turned around the Jacksonville Jaguars? That was the worst franchise in the NFL for multiple years.
I mean, their whole team has changed.
I don't
Not just
disagree,
him.
but I would
You know,
argue
I've got
it usually
Calvin
starts with the
Ridley.
quarterback.
Wow.
Calvin Ridley
I
hasn't done
mean-
shit this year. He's had like
What are you
4
talking
good
about?
games the entire season. He's on my fantasy team.
I
I get more mad at Calvin Ridley than I do
They
excited.
added Christian Kirk, Calvin Ridley, Evan Ingram. They completely upgraded their offense. So
Or
whether it's Calvin Ridley has only played 4 good games, I'm sure Christian Kirk has had multiple 120-plus yard receiving games. I'm sure same thing for Evan Ingram.
look, all I'm saying is he has taken the Jaguars to playoff wins, and Justin Herbert's never done that for the Chargers.
Or is that Doug Peterson?
Probably Doug Peterson. I don't know. I'm in agreement with you to a slight degree. I still think he's the better of the younger quarterbacks in the league. When you think about,
I mean,
like,
I
people
think he's
that,
all. I don't think he's a bad quarterback. I'm just
Right.
hate all the. He's not with the top tier guys in the NFL. And
I can
people
get
act like
behind
he
that.
is or is going to be.
I would say he's probably like a tier 3 of the quarterbacks right now.
If you want to check out what we think he is, go look at our tier
Go
list,
check
man.
out our tier list, which we will be revisiting at the end of the season. So stay tuned for that. Baker Mayfield looks good for the Buccaneers, though.
Yep, I think he's going to get paid for sure after this
By
week.
the Buccaneers.
Yes, he's going to stay and get paid. There was a rumor floating around last week, and now I think it's legit. I think it's going to happen. I don't think he's going to get much. Maybe like
if
80
they-
million.
I think he'll
But-
get that Geno Smith contract.
Yeah,
I
That's
think
what
if
I
they
think.
finish 10-7 and make the playoffs, and I don't know who would they play in the first round.
If they're 7, probably the Niners. If they're
Niners will be number 1 seed, won't they? They get a
if
bye.
they're if they're 7, they'll probably play the Eagles. If they're 6, they'll
Eagles.
probably play the.
I could potentially see them upsetting the Eagles, especially the way the Eagles have been playing recently. No,
Yeah.
I could see a potential upset. I don't think it'll happen, but I can see it possible. Anybody else? They probably play the Lions.
Yeah, that'd be 3 probably.
No, they'll be no. The Buccaneers they're gonna win their division, so they're gonna be 4.
Oh, true.
So they're gonna play one of those wild card teams. Interesting.
7, 3,
I don't know.
4,
Shout out to Baker Mayfield. I still got love for the kid.
They'd
But
probably
let's
play
move-
the Cowboys.
Probably, and that
'Cause
would
that'd be
be
the
an
top wild
awesome,
card.
dude. That would be the best upset I've ever watched in my entire life. That would literally bring a tear to my eye, an
That'd be pretty
absolute tear.
sweet.
I would rather see. No, I wouldn't. I'm not even gonna say it. Moving on to the Bears beating the Arizona Cardinals in a dog piss game to watch. If anybody got to tune into it just a little bit in between the Dolphins and Cowboys. Justin Fields on the trade destination for the Atlanta Falcons. Gentlemen, thoughts?
No, he's staying to the. They're gonna draft Marvin Harrison. And Justin Fields is gonna stay.
Probably.
Yeah, I
You
think
think?
I think that's what's gonna happen.
I think
Because Marvin
Fields is-
Harrison.
I don't think
declared-
they're gonna
Yeah.
do anything with. I
Yeah.
think they're gonna keep Justin Fields.
Marvin Harris did declare.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's not playing in the Cotton Bowl.
You mean I gotta watch
Fortunate.
Missouri beat Ohio State?
Yeah,
Guys, I lived in Missouri
Devin
for 4
Brown?
years.
Old
My
Devin Brown,
phone
number
is going
33,
to
bud.
blow up. You have no idea. I have 4 friends from Missouri going to the game. I might
Mm.
cry. I might D&D my phone for 2 weeks.
I mean, I don't know.
I mean, we got to stop
Whatever.
acting like bowl games matter nowadays. Nobody
I mean,
plays.
Yeah,
But-
really.
It's stupid.
It don't matter to them. Missouri's been a
I mean,
poverty.
yeah, I get that, but
So you guys think Marvin Harris and yeah? I mean, I could definitely see it.
I just think that's what's gonna happen.
we'll probably draft him in a tackle.
It'll be the same
then-
thing with Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. It'll be that kind of connection.
I will say that I think the Bears have found some diamonds here in the last few games with that Komet kid at the tight end.
Mm.
His last
He's
2 weeks
been
of football
good.
has been phenomenal. Yeah, but his last 2 weeks have been phenomenal. I don't know if that's a product of Justin Fields being back or what, but my goodness. And then the running game's kind of hit or miss, but Herbert had a really good game, so don't know. Let's move on to potentially. It was actually a really good game. The Dolphins taking down the Cowboys.
Yeah, it was.
Dolphins
This was-
winning in
This was a statement win for the Dolphins as well. It
that
gets
they
them,
can play
yeah.
with anybody.
And,
yeah, it
and
gets them
I
out of
don't
that
think
conversation.
It's a bad loss for the Cowboys either.
No, I mean, I
No,
think
I
that
don't
was a
think it's a
really
bad
good
loss.
game.
Dak went down, took the lead late, and then Tua just answered. That's all.
Dolphins just handled the rest of the time. Yeah, I think people are. I mean, it's great to watch the Cowboys lose. Don't get me wrong, but I think a lot of people on social media are talking about Dak this, Dak Cowboys this, Cowboys that. But like, I don't think it's a bad loss, like Ryan said.
You guys watch Hard Knocks at all? I know Ryan said
No,
you
I
don't
have
No, I
start.
haven't watched
I have
it yet.
not.
I've
Oh,
seen
it's
clips.
really
I
good.
saw the clip of
Dan Marino one.
Mike McDaniel and Tua all in the huddle with Tyreek saying that last third down play to milk the rest of the clock before the game-winning field goal, and how they were talking to Tyreek, and Tyreek's like, he was like, get yourself in the right mindset, and then like he was like, the play's gonna work, you just gotta catch it, and then like Tyreek's talking to himself and he gets first down. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, did you see
Interesting.
the Dan Marino clip?
But yeah, I've seen a couple.
He said-
Well, he's
he
like,
said-
fuck you, Dan, we're coming for your records.
he said, "Fuck you, Dan. Fuck your records, Dan. We're coming for him." But I thought that was funny. It's a really good season. I think you guys should start watching it.
What's it on?
It's
HBO.
on
HBO.
Max. Yeah.
I
Gotcha.
hate you for calling him Max.
Yeah, I
It's
just,
called because if you go to HBO Max, it'll say, "Please switch over to Max."
That's what they say.
Anyways.
Yeah, that's what it says.
Anyways, let's move forward here. Shout out to the Dolphins getting it done against the Cowboys. I love it when the Cowboys lose. But moving on to a game that kind of caught me by surprise, but I think I did call it in our last podcast. Patriots taking down the Denver Broncos, and
I
let me
think
tell
I
you
might
what,
have as well.
my butt
honestly.
cheeks were clenched when. Oh, no, actually, let me backtrack. I'm watching the game on the TV that you guys can barely see behind me, and I'm sitting here playing Call of Duty. I look back. I swear to God, it's 9-6 or something like that, right? 9-6. That sound right? Something like that. It's like 9-6, 9-7 actually. It's 9-7. I look back. I play one singular match of shipment. Just one, gentlemen. And I look back again, and it is 23-7. Okay, whatever. Go about the rest of my time. Look back to check the game out, and the Broncos just tied it up. What? Did I miss like the best game of the season, or what happened here?
I don't know. I totally miss this game.
Kind of stunk, regardless of how good the score is.
Okay.
I mean,
I mean, it was
They
bad enough to get
zapped him,
Russell Wilson
played pretty good.
benched. I don't know
Yeah,
if you guys saw that.
I want to talk about
Russell
that.
Wilson played good football.
I want to talk about
Statistically.
that.
Sean Payton just hates.
Russell Wilson's playing good football statistically, not actually, in my opinion.
I mean, he scored 16 in the fourth quarter to come back and tie it.
They were
Then turn the
down
ball over.
16 to the 3-11 Patriots.
I mean, I don't know. I think Russ was playing. I don't think he's playing bad enough football to get benched for Jared Stidham. I think their play calling's awful. First of all,
I agree.
I don't think
I want
it's- I
Eric's
just don't think
opinion
it's
here.
Russ's
Eric
fault.
has something to say. Eric,
It's
make
about
it good.
it's
It better be
about
in my
the
favor.
it's about the Russell Wilson. I read something on Twitter about it. The Russell Wilson injury thing, like in 2025, if he
because
Can't Pass this physical, he gets 37 million.
Yeah.
What?
If he were to get hurt before like June 1st or something, they would get his injury guarantee would be
37 million.
And if he doesn't, they can just cut him and then eat like
54.
something in dead cap. Yeah.
54 million. So they're benching him to hurt him, like have him hurt.
No.
They're
Like,
benching.
I'm-
they're
No, they're
benching him to
saving him money by
save. Yeah.
because if he were to get hurt, they would owe him more money than they do if he doesn't.
Exactly.
If
See,
they
I
just
read it the
release him.
other way around. If he doesn't pass his physical, he gets 37 million.
Plus
if
the
they
rest of
just
his guaranteed. That
oh,
injury
okay,
is
okay, okay.
just
It's
yeah.
okay, okay, okay.
37 million is just
okay.
from injury.
So they don't want to.
They
Okay,
don't want him to
And then
get injured.
I saw somebody say I think it was like JPA football or whatever on Twitter. So who knows if it's real or not? But they said, what they say? Russell Wilson was told after the Chiefs win, if he did not rework his contract, he would be benched for the rest of the year because they owe him a shit ton of money.
Yeah, they do.
I don't know if that's true or not, but I'm just saying that's something I saw on Twitter.
Okay.
And
So now it makes sense to me. When I was trying to read it, but I'm trying to buy a bed, and I was at dinner, and I was like, I didn't quite understand it. But see, this is why we have a podcast, and I get to listen to you two gentlemen. Nonetheless, Zappy getting it done for the Patriots. Good for them. They now move from the number 2 pick to the number 4 pick with that win. And both teams are still awful. Let's move on to the Monday night triple header, starting with the Raiders taking down the Kansas City Chiefs. Gentlemen, what is going on in Arrowhead, man?
they're dead.
They are dead.
Ooh,
They are
a
dead.
lot of drops.
And this
a
was
lot of drops.
This was a huge win or huge advantage for the Browns, I think, because I mean they would have been what 10-5 as well.
Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean,
Browns looking like they're going to take on the Chiefs in the playoffs in the first round.
I think that's going to be a good game. I really do.
I think we're going to win by 15.
Yeah, the Chiefs'
Nice.
O-line is terrible. Patrick
Yes.
Mahomes is back there running for his life the whole game.
And still giving the receivers good opportunity to catch the ball.
Aiden O'Connell did not complete a pass after the first quarter.
That was the craziest stat I've ever seen in my entire
That is
life.
nuts.
How do you lose that football game? I mean, the
don't
pick
know.
6 was on Patty.
The fumble was on Patty.
The fumble was on Patty. But, like, Travis Kelce, how many drop balls did he have?
I don't know if he had a lot, to be honest. I mean, I
He had
wasn't
some crucial ones, I'll
watching every
say.
play of the game.
He had some crucial ones nonetheless.
throwing his little pity party on the sideline, throwing his helmet
Oh
across.
my
Loves doing
god,
that
dude.
shit. Their whole team is just
Him
full
and
of
fucking
crybabies now.
Mahomes throw their fucking helmets.
I mean, so okay, not Travis Kelce. Rashee Rice was targeted 12 times and only had 6 receptions. I don't know how many of those were drops, but I know Travis Kelce on a third down play had a out pass to him and he dropped it, and there was nobody around him. And I
No,
wonder
that
if
was
that's
like
what
at
he.
the
I think
beginning
that's
of the
when he
game.
threw his helmet. Got pissed
I
off.
don't know. A lot of drops from this team. But I can't wait for the Browns to beat them in the first round of the playoffs.
It's gonna be sweet.
It's gonna be
It'll
awesome.
the
It's gonna be
first
everything
time-
I wanted.
First time Patrick Mahomes played on the road in his career.
Yeah, it's
The
not gonna look good
playoffs?
for him. That's all I gotta say. It won't be on the road. He'll be at home in the first round.
No, not if he
What?
doesn't win his division. Where did I see that?
I don't know.
I mean, no, he's always been the 1 seed.
Oh, okay. Home field for the entire playoffs. Okay,
Yeah.
I understand. I'm sorry.
He'll have to go on the road at some point. If
Okay. Nonetheless, thank goodness that's just as good as watching the Cowboys lose, as watching Patrick
Mhm.
Mahomes lose. And I feel like a douchebag saying that because like I'm wishing on somebody's failure, but like this year alone has just made me hate Patrick Mahomes, to be honest. Let's
Years
move
alone.
on to the Philadelphia Eagles taking down the now benched Tommy DeVito Giants. The Eagles defense came alive in this game, and Jalen Hurts, I felt like got right early and then slowed down late, and that's not a good look for them, in my opinion.
I wouldn't even say their defensive line played well, but that's against
That's what I
the
was
worst
referring
offensive
to.
line in the
That's
league.
yeah.
They
yeah,
still
I
let
was-
up 25 points to Tyrod Taylor, and no, I wouldn't even say Darren Waller. He had like
Well,
3
to be
catches.
fair, I mean their game plan was for Tommy DeVito, so when somebody new comes in and can play quarterback and actually carry an offense, it does change things a little bit for a team. I mean,
Fans were
I think the
booing.
Eagles are. This is
Eagles offense.
They're what 1-3 in their last 4.
yes, and it was
And
against the
this is
Cowboys
not-
or the Giants. I mean,
This is not a good win.
No.
they have the Giants again at the end of the year. Maybe they'll blow them out then. I don't know. This game was
Yeah.
kind of boring. But
Yeah.
this next game did not live up to the hype. The Ravens destroying the 49ers. And I want to start off by saying, guys, Brock Purdy can have a bad game. He's
Yeah, he
not
can.
a bust because he had a bad
I
game.
think what it
I-
was. I think what it
Even
was.
like the
it was-
interceptions were not.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd say two of them. You could say two of them were on him. I'd say even no, two of them were on him.
I think
But
it was
the tipped ones. I mean, what can you do?
Yeah, I hate that. That's my number one thing about this right now. The tipped balls that get intercepted should not go against the quarterbacks. I mean, there's nothing you can really do about it. But anyways, like I was saying, I think the first two interceptions got in his head, so he just went downhill from there. Rest of the game.
Did you guys see that play where he like tossed it behind his back to Christian?
Yeah, that was
McCaffrey?
sweet. That was sweet.
Only if they weren't getting blown out at that point, and like Christian made some like sweet play with it, that'd been crazy.
Yeah,
Or
but
Patrick
was-
Mahomes threw it.
I was gonna say
Christian Mahomes.
they explained it a couple weeks ago about Joe Flacco throwing 3 interceptions and then him not really giving a fuck, just going
Yeah.
back out there.
Watch
and
me throw
slinging the
3
pill.
more.
Yeah,
Yeah. Gunslinger
And then
mentality.
he
That's Brett
said-
Favre.
he said. I mean, veteran quarterbacks know like not to let it get in their head. Younger quarterbacks let it get in their head and they have a terrible game. And I think it's what happened to Brock in this game. So
And I mean, he's seeing arguably the second, maybe even the best defense he's seen all year. The one thing that everybody said that kills the Ravens is motions, people moving in motions on the offense. That's what has destroyed the Ravens defense this year. And I think they just capitalized on that. And I mean, this Ravens defense is nothing to like tilt your head at. This is a phenomenal defense.
Yeah.
I don't like the fact that just because Lamar Jackson was the quarterback of the Ravens and they beat the Niners, he's now the front runner for MVP. That's the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. He doesn't even have close to the same stats as Dak Prescott, let alone Tua.
I mean,
Um,
who he's doing it with, I'd say he does deserve it.
Interesting.
I mean,
don't.
Mark Andrews has been his number one target for the last 4 years, and he's been playing probably 10
he's
games
definitely
without
up
him.
there. He's
So
definitely up
because
there.
because Lamar's 1-0 against the 49ers this season, he should be the MVP when
Not
nobody's
saying
talked about.
12-3.
Hold on. When he just because he's 1-0 against the 49ers this year and he hasn't been in the MVP conversation all year long, now he's automatically the front runner for the MVP. When last week it was between Dak and Brock, and the week before that it was between Dak and Tua.
I saw a graphic of Ravens versus above 500 teams, and I don't want to try and find it now, but it was against the Browns 28-3, against the Lions 38-6, against the Seahawks 37-3, against the Jags 23-7. Like, they're just dominating
And then
good
in
teams.
three of those 4 games that
constantly.
you mentioned, I don't think Lamar Jackson threw for over 200 yards. We talked about it in previous
Threw for
podcasts.
350 against the Lions and 3 tuds.
Okay, that's one of them. I know in one of the games he threw for like 151 because they ran the ball a ton, right? Gus Edwards, I think, had a phenomenal game one of those games. Was it against the Lions, maybe?
I mean,
He's
shame on him for
definitely-
having a running back have a good game.
My
He's
point
definitely
is,
up there.
I'm not hating on Lamar. You guys know that I've talked up on Lamar multiple times. What I'm saying is that up until them beating the Niners, he was not in the conversation of MVP. It was Jalen Hurts, Dak, Brock, and Tua, and then Jalen Hurts went on a spell, and then it was those 3, and then just because he beat the Niners, why is he just now in the MVP conversation? That's sort of the point I'm trying to make.
I feel like he's been in the conversation, no?
I couldn't tell you.
I haven't heard. I remember
mean,
Brock Purdy and CJ Stroud hit it in top 5s, and I never heard
people
Lamar.
talking about him like potentially being in the conversation. I don't know if he was, but
I'm just saying, just because they beat the best team in the NFL doesn't just automatically, I think, promote people to the MVP. That's all. I mean, nonetheless, that right there will do it for your week 16. Oh,
I want to bring up something. It's about the Browns.
Okay. cut
I'm
that
really-
out.
I'm just
Let's go
really-
back to the Browns.
No. I'm
here we
just
go.
really happy. Like this feeling, it feels really fucking good.
To root for a team that's actually been good for one time in your entire lifetime.
Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty
I
sensational.
want to say
Man, it's almost
is-
like you guys aren't Ohio State fans. jackasses.
This is NFL. The Browns are the only team to beat the 49ers and the Ravens this season. That's beautiful, first off. Second off, to get the number 1 seed, this is what needs to happen. Ravens need to lose the next 2 games. They're facing the Dolphins and the Steelers.
About that.
Yeah.
See, what we're not going to do is watch the Ravens lose to either of those teams.
I'm just saying this is what potentially could happen.
The Dolphins could win, though.
Browns need to win out.
See, that's your first problem.
Okay, but I'm just this is what could happen. They get the number 1 seed.
Talk to me, baby. Talk to me.
Browns need to win out.
Yep.
And Kansas City needs to either lose out for the rest of the season or lose at least 1 more game.
Aren't we ahead of the Kansas City Chiefs now?
Yes. But what I'm saying is, so it says this picture here. I don't know if you can see that or not. It says,
That was last week's, though.
No. This is for this week. It's
okay.
It's either win, lose, 1 and 2. Browns win out. Chiefs win, lose, 1 and 2. Ravens gotta go 1 and 2 for the rest of the season, and the Chiefs have to go 1 and 2 for the rest of the season.
What about the Dolphins?
I don't know. It's not on here.
They're 11 and 4.
That's just how this is made up. I don't know why, but it's what it is.
That doesn't make any sense to me, and I know what you're looking at, but because
I don't
the Chiefs are now below us record wise. The Dolphins are and the Ravens are in front of us, so maybe they messed up their graphic. It's probably supposed to be the Dolphins and the Ravens, not the Chiefs.
I don't know.
I'd imagine they messed their
Because
graphic.
if the Chiefs went out though, they'll be what? They're 9 and 5 right
11-6.
now.
They're 9 and 6.
9 and 6.
Well,
anyways,
that's not going to matter at all.
Yes,
when
it is
the Browns
because
lose to the Jets on Thursday Night Football in the start of Week 17.
Speaking of the Week 17, let's go ahead and jump into the picks of Week 17, gentlemen, and we will start with the primetime Thursday night game of the New York Jets visiting the Cleveland Browns. By the way, Joe Flacco's photo for the Cleveland Browns is him in a Jets jersey.
That's funny.
That's a bad omen.
Do you guys know Joe Flacco called the Jets when Aaron Rodgers got hurt and see if they were interested in having him back, and they said no?
Oh, so Joe Flacco's throwing for 400. I will be taking the Cleveland Browns by 30.
Yeah. It'd be pretty funny if he went out there and just lit him up.
I'll be taking Cleveland Browns by 30,
You muted,
actually.
Eric? Oh,
Hello?
still nothing.
Hello? What? Hello?
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh,
Okay,
hello.
maybe you're just too far.
I'll be taking the Cleveland Browns. Zach Wilson is not playing. I think a couple people on their defense is injured. There was something else, but give me the Browns.
Yeah, the Jets fucking suck, maybe. Yeah, I'll take the Browns as well.
Moving into the Saturday evening game,
What
we
a
have the
banger.
Detroit
What
Lions
a
visiting the Dallas
banger of a
Cowboys.
Saturday night
Give
game.
me the Detroit Lions.
Give me the
plus
Cowboys.
6.
Cowboys are a lot better at home. Are they 6-point underdogs?
Uh,
Oh, you're
Detroit
just
is.
making that up.
Detroit's 6-point
Oh.
underdogs. Yes, Dallas is favored
Yeah, give
minus
me-
6.
Give me the Cowboys at home.
It's because they're
Yeah.
7-0 at home, though.
Yeah, and they
Give me
beat
the-
the shit out of people at home.
Give me Dallas.
Interesting take. Let's move
You
into
said
Sunday
Lions?
afternoon.
T?
I took Lions. We have the Patriots visiting the Bills. I will be taking the Bills with the minus 13.
Bills.
I'll take the Bills. I won't lay the 13, but
We have the Falcons visiting the Bears in a classic game of who gives a shit. I will be taking the Falcons, though.
Give me Bears.
give me the Bears.
We have
They've been
the
playing pretty
Las
good
Vegas
last few
Raiders
weeks.
visiting the Colts. The Colts need this win. With that being said, I will be taking the Raiders.
Yeah, give me Raiders.
I'm hoping Michael Pittman will be back, but either way, give me the Colts. I
We
guess.
have the Rams visiting the Giants. The Giants are now going to be led by Tyrod Taylor yet again. I imagine Tyrod Taylor will break a rib for the 19th time in a row as a starter. I will be taking the Los Angeles Rams.
Yeah, Rams on a hot streak right now. Give me the Rams.
I didn't talk about this when we were talking about the Packers, but Packers need, in order to get in the playoff, Packers need to win their last 2 games against the Vikings and the Bears. Very
Okay.
possible.
Very
Very
possible.
possible. And then either the Rams to lose 1 game or the Seahawks to lose 1 game. The
You have a better chance of the Seahawks losing.
Seahawks play the Steelers and 49ers. Or no, Seahawks play the Steelers, motherfucker. Steelers and Cardinals.
Oof.
Steelers and Cardinals, yeah. But the Rams play the Giants and the 49ers. So I'm just hoping week 18 the 49ers have something to play for and have to play their starters. They don't rest them for the 1 seed or whatever. I'm hoping, I don't know.
Too bad the Packers
So
will
I'm
be
gonna be-
losing to the Vikings on Monday Night Football.
No, Sunday night.
I'm sorry, Sunday night.
But that being said, give me the Rams.
Kyron Williams might actually rush for over 180 yards.
Aaron Donald
saying.
might have 4 sacks.
Speaking of the Cardinals that you brought up so recently, the Cardinals will be facing the Philadelphia Eagles. I do think the Eagles will obliterate them.
Yeah, give me Eagles.
I wouldn't say obliterate, but I think they'll win.
Moving
I wouldn't
on
expect them
to
to obliterate the past 3 teams they've played. But
True. Moving on to, I'm assuming the game that could decide the division with the Saints visiting the Buccaneers. I will be taking the Buccaneers.
Bucks.
me as well. Is Derek
49ers.
Carr hurt again?
I
or
don't
no?
care. I don't want to talk about them anymore. 49ers visiting the Commanders. Jesus Christ. Brock
Maybe
Purdy might be the
Niners.
MVP favorite after that game again.
Yeah. 49ers by 50.
We have the Panthers visiting the Jacksonville Jaguars. I will be taking the Carolina Panthers.
Me too.
I'm really going to have 200 yards.
Me too.
Yeah,
the
give me the
Jaguars.
give me the Panthers.
Give me the Jaguars. Calvin
The
Ridley about to have a big
Panthers as
game.
well. I'll take the Panthers.
Probably game of the week if I had to be honest with you guys. Dolphins visiting the Ravens.
Ooh, that'd be a good one.
Why is that at 1 o'clock?
Give me the Ravens. Why is it at 1?
Um,
I'll go Ravens. They're playing really well right now. They just played really well against 49ers.
give
I'm gonna
me
take the Dolphins.
Give me the Dolphins. Kyle Hamilton's hurt. I don't know how hurt he is, but I think he is a very big piece of that secondary. Other than him and Marlon Humphrey, I don't know who they at. So give me the Dolphins.
I'm going to be taking the Dolphins because I think their win meant more to them than the Ravens win against the 49ers. I don't think it meant more to us, but I think it meant more because the Ravens, I think, knew they were winning that game. I think the Dolphins had to prove they could win that game. Does that make sense?
I don't know.
The Ravens said they were going to
I
whoop their ass no
cannot
matter what.
agree.
What's
I
his
mean,
name?
they can say all they
Marlon.
want,
What's
but
his name? The linebacker for the Ravens.
Going into San Fran and beating the shit out of the
True,
49ers
true.
is
Nonetheless, I'm taking the Dolphins. Moving on to a very actual big game if
Very
CJ Stroud does
actual.
not play. The Texans will be taking on the Titans at home. If CJ Stroud, because he practiced today, I think today was his
Couldn't
first
tell
day back in practice. If he doesn't play and the Titans win this game, that division. Hey man, look, Texans need this win. I'm taking the Texans.
Yeah, I think CJ Stroud's going to play if he practiced today. So give me Texans.
me as well.
W's going into another potentially actually a good game. We have the
Potentially,
Steelers visiting the Seattle Seahawks. I will be taking the Steelers in this one.
Give me
Me too.
Seahawks. Mason Rudolph's not going to do it again.
Give me the
Yes,
Seahawks.
you're kinda
just
sound
'cause
like
I'm-
the
or
guy that
no,
hit him
give
in
me
the head with the helmet.
Steelers. Give me the
Yeah,
Steelers.
that's
just
good.
'cause
I love
want the
Myles
Seahawks
Garrett.
to lose.
We do need a Seahawks loss for the Packers to have a chance. Moving on to the Chargers visiting the Broncos. Why is this a game? Why is this even a game? Why?
Just
Who's
glad
the
it's
starter?
not prime time.
Give me Broncos.
Give me
Who's starting for the Broncos?
Jared Stidham.
Give me the
Give
Chargers.
me the Broncos.
Give me the Chargers.
I think Jared Stidham could actually.
Don't care.
surprise
Moving
me.
on, we have the Bengals visiting the Chiefs. The Chiefs need this win more than the Bengals need this win. I will be taking the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah, give me the Bengals. Unfortunately, I don't want to root for them, but give me the Bengals.
We're really doing that.
Yeah, we're really doing
don't
that
think-
because it'll make
I
the
don't
Chiefs
think-
9-7 if they lose.
I don't think the Chiefs are losing back to back at home. Give me the Chiefs.
Why not? But I didn't want. I'd rather have the Bengals.
Ben Pickett.
I
Huh?
did.
Don't you have integrity in
And
your
for our final
record?
game of Sunday night, Ryan, can I get a Sunday night out of you, please?
Sunday night?
Ooh, I like the way you say that. We have the Packers visiting the Minnesota Vikings. Nick Mullins looking to throw 4 more interceptions, but get the win against the Packers.
The Packers just for Ryan's sake.
Do I have a pulse?
I do believe Jordan Love is top 3 in the NFL against the blitz, and the Vikings are number 1 in the NFL on sending blitzes.
There it is.
Give me the
iconic
Packers.
Do I have a pulse?
And ladies and gentlemen, that officially does it for the Week 17 picks by the Taped Up Podcast. If any of you disagree with anything I said, you're completely wrong. If any of you disagree with anything Ryan said, you're probably right. And don't you dare talk to Eric any type of way.
Jeez.
Also, just want to say that there hasn't been any TikToks for the simple fact that I've been kind of lazy.
It's Christmas
But
time.
it's also the holidays, so that I'll leave that for my excuse. I'll be posting, or T-Mac will be posting all the TikToks. I'll get them all edited and everything. So there will be TikToks this week. So be prepared for that. We also are going to do a tier list next week. We skipped this week because of the holidays. Tier lists are back and up and running next week. So make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell button if you're new, and we will see you guys episode 13.